Welcome back, Devils fans, and a sad afternoon at the Rock. The New Jersey Devils fall to the Tampa Bay Lightning by a score of 4-1. And I had to take some time to cool off and process everything after watching this game before I made my post-game video. As you know, sometimes I get a little fired up, and today was no different. And the reality is, this team is right where they deserve. They've dug this hole, and it's unfortunate, but you know they're not the team we thought they were. Unfortunately, there's a myriad of reasons. We all know all the reasons, but in the end, once again, we allow the first goal. Hedman scores in the second, giving them the 1-0 lead at 1:27, and then Point a few minutes later gives them the 2-0 lead. And as close as we got was the Toffoli goal at 6:01 of the second period. We cut it to 2-1 going into the third, the period of the year, the biggest period of some of these players' lives. And we do nothing. We allow two more goals, one of them being the empty net. We lose 4-1, and that's it. How you could come out for a game as important as this one was with that performance is truly saddening. And again, not to keep piling on, but you know that's a reflection on the coach to me as well. Both of the teams are coming off back-to-backs playing yesterday. Both teams winning. And if you can't get fired up for this game, then I don't know what will fire you up. The whole team knows how bad we needed the points. You know, in a must-win situation, essentially. And they started their backup goalie. So how does that not get you fired up? If I'm in that room before the game, I'm saying this team is not giving us any respect. And in the tight playoff race, they're going to put their starting goalie out against. That's basically giving the whole Devils team the middle finger. We're going to play our backup goalie. And guess what? The backup goalie was good enough to win. He beat this Devils team that looked pretty lifeless once again. And that's it. And now, you know, it would take some string of miracles for us to get into the playoffs. Look at the game stats. Devils 19 shots, Lightning with 27. Face-off percentage, Devils 57.1 to 42.9 for the Lightning. We were 1 for 4 on the power play. Lightning were 0 for 3. Devils 7 hits. It's pathetic. 7 hits in an NHL game. Pathetic. Again, going back to this team is completely soft. 7 hits in a game is unacceptable. You know, that's 1 hit almost every 9 minutes. I mean, what type of hockey team are you throwing 1 hit every 9 minutes? And the Lightning had 14 hits, so they doubled us there. Lightning with 25 block shots to the Devils 8. Lightning with 4 giveaways, the Devils with 11, almost triple the amount of giveaways we had. And then takeaways, Lightning 13, Devils 9. So, you know, we were outplayed. We were outplayed by a better team. They wanted it more, and we had no answer. And so this roller coaster of a season continues. And I don't really know what's going to happen now. I mean, the goaltending question is still very much in existence. Schmidt didn't have a terrible game today. Didn't have a great game either. But, you know, not many goalies are going to get us a win when we can only muster 1 goal. And so what this high potent offense and fancy names on paper offense has showed is that in some games they go disappearing and they can't finish their chances. And that puts more pressure on the defense and the goalies to keep the puck out of the net. But it doesn't matter. When you score 1 goal in this league, you're not going to win many games. And so no matter what happened, the reality is we scored 1 goal today. No goalie on the planet was pitching a shutout against this Lightning team in this particular game behind this defense. And that's it. It's really depressing. I did get kind of lured back in by that win over the Canadiens yesterday. Yes, we all know it was a sloppy win, but it was a win nonetheless. And today they just came out like complete trash. So, you know, I don't know going forward how this works, when Fitz will start the selling. What I would like to see, as we've seen in the past with some players and teams, is essentially we should go to Tyler Toffoli now and say, listen, we want you here. Kind of work out a preliminary deal for the summer. And then we trade him. We trade him anytime between now and the deadline, cash him in for a first-round pick to a contender with the agreement that he's going to re-sign with us in the summer. So to rent him out for the playoffs to get a first-rounder and then have him re-sign in the summer would be absolutely phenomenal. I hope we do it. I believe Keith Tkachuk did it with the Blues and possibly more than once. I believe that exact scenario has happened. I'll report back on that in a later video. But I would love to see us do some trickeration with Toffoli. Tell him we want him back, kind of hammer out a deal verbally or whatever you want to call it, and then trade him off as a rental for the playoffs and then have him return in the summer. I think would be a phenomenal play with Toffoli. But the roster needs some adjustments. It really needs some adjustments, and the team as it's constructed today is obviously very flawed. I've talked about time and time again how I think we need to get more physical. We have no physical players whatsoever, and it's hard to win in this league when you're so easily pushed around and beaten up. And this Devils team has been battered all season long. We have a lot of young kids, a lot of finesse players that don't really want to take part in the physicality and all that stuff, but I don't think you're going to find many teams that go on deep runs without having some scrappy players. I'm not saying to go get goons like in the 90s, but just get some forwards that have some snarl in them, because we have none of it right now, and I think it's contagious. It's contagious when everybody wants to play this finesse. You know, I don't want to get checked or hit people. It's not conducive to winning, and it's not conducive to going on deep runs. So we definitely need some grit and tenacity in the lineup immediately, and we obviously still need a goalie. I think my biggest fear is that Fitz will wait till the summer when Saros has either been moved somewhere else or possibly extended in Nashville before they trade him. Maybe they'll get more if they extend him with him under contract. I don't know. That's a big question mark surrounding Saros, but eventually he's going to get moved somewhere. With Askarov doing as good as he is doing in the AHL, he's their goalie of the future, and so the Predators see that they could get a pretty nice return for Saros to bolster their lineup and then go with Askarov and net. So I think that's exactly what they're going to do. It's just a matter of when and to who, but I think if we miss out on him, that's a really unfortunate scenario. And my biggest fear is that Fitz is going to kind of fix the goaltending situation with another like iffy budget type move, similar to what Vitek Vanacek was. It wasn't a big money signing, but he thought this guy maybe it was in the wrong circumstance or wrong team, and we bring him over here and he'll thrive. And I don't want any sort of, you know, iffy gamble type move. I think that's a bullshit move, and if he makes another one of those, I think it'd be a horrible mistake. Go get a real number one guy. Don't get one of these fringe guys that may or may not be a starter that saw limited time for years and had okay stats. I don't care for it. I don't want to see it. Go get Saros. Saros is the answer. Pay the piper, whatever it is. Bring Saros in, because that's what we need. We need Saros. Point blank. At this point, I don't know who else is going to be available in the summer, and I don't want to take more gambles on nonsense. Vitek Vanacek was a nonsense signing. He did okay for most of the regular season behind a potent Devils offense. We got to the playoffs. He completely fell apart in the playoffs. Akira bailed him out, and to me, that was he really showed his colors when the playoffs came. And so I'm completely done with Vanacek, as you know. Dawes and Schmid, still very young goalies that could have bright futures in the league, whether it's with the Devils or another team. But the reality is, I believe our window to win is basically now. We won a playoff round last year. Yes, we lost Severson and Graves, two big losses on the blue line. But we need to make some tweaks to this roster. But the window is now. We have tons of great players, and there's no reason why we can't go on a run now with some roster tinkering. I'm tired of hearing about the future is bright and next year and the window's just opening. The window is now. The window started last year. That's the window. We had a historic season, went to the playoffs, beat the Rangers. Phenomenal stuff. You cannot be taking steps back now. There's no more rebuilding. The window is now. I'm tired of looking at, oh, we have great prospects and we, you know, our prospect future is bright. All that matters is winning a Stanley Cup. Having the highest ranked prospect pool and all this stuff and hockey news, it's all bullshit. It means absolutely nothing if it never gets you to where you need to go, which is the pinnacle of the sport, lifting Lord Stanley. And you're not going to get there by staring at our prospect pool and saying, oh, our future's so bright. We've been hearing this forever. It's time to now take some of that bright prospect pool and other assets we have like picks and package them to get known commodities that could help this team win right now. Right now. That's it. The window is now. No one wants to see this. So after last season, we're now looking down the barrel of a missed playoff. And it sends the wrong message to, again, the fans and the kids on the team. I think they all have to know and talk to each other and talk about how the goalies have sucked. It was very telling when Jack, after he was a star of the game a few games back, he said something along the lines of, oh, it's easier to win when you get the saves. I mean, what more do you want a star player, or any player for that matter, to tell you what time it is? I mean, that's a very telling quote by Jack Hughes, basically confirming what we've all known, is that the goaltending has been complete garbage. And that's kind of like a shot fired out there towards Fitz, in my opinion. Fix the goaltending situation. It's a black cloud looming over this franchise for a decade plus. Get a real goalie. And the goalie that you should get is Saros. It is UC Saros. Go make the deal. Unfortunately, we're probably going to lose Mercer. That really sucks. But life goes on. It's easier to find forwards to plug into the lineup than it is to find franchise goaltenders. That's just the reality. Forwards are way more plentiful than legitimate NHL goalies. And so I love Dawson Mercer, and it'll be a sad day if we deal him. The reality is Saros helps his team much more than Dawson Mercer can. And so it's a deal you have to make. I don't know what Fitz is waiting for. It's probably not going to happen this season. I would love to see something happen before the West Coast trip. But now I think they're going to have the mentality of, oh, we're basically done. So no point in making a panic move. But bringing in Saros is not a panic move, because that should be a long-term answer. So that could help you this year and well into the future. But I don't expect anything to happen from that. But, Tyler Toffoli gets his 25th tonight on the power play, extending his games point streak to 6. I believe that's a career high for Tyler Toffoli. And, yeah, it would really suck to just lose him. It really would, but it's probably likely. I would love to see the Kachuk trick, like I said. Trade him off for a first rounder or something like that, and then have him re-sign in the summer. That'd be phenomenal. But I don't know. Let me know what you thought about the game. Let me know what you thought about what you think about the consistent goalie carousel and issues surrounding the team, and what else. I don't know. At this point, another gut punch. Is going to be a long Sunday night. Just thinking about this, and it's going to be a long rest of the season. We got 6 weeks or so left. Yeah, it's going to be brutal. I mean, outside of, I just don't want to keep holding out the false hope. It's like, yeah, after that game yesterday, they reeled us all back in. I was basically done after the Ranger game. They gave us the false hope yesterday. But yeah, I mean, so we have Tuesday at San Jose, Friday at Anaheim, and then Sunday the 3rd at LA. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll be roped back in if we go 3-0 on the West Coast trip. I mean, go 3-0 on the West Coast trip, and then coming home to a stretch of 3 home games with Florida, St. Louis, and Carolina. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. But I will also say that I'm kind of tired after today of seeing the Hughes brothers on Power Play 1. I think the Hughes brothers need to take a break from the power play, and I would like to see something like I'd like to see Power Play 1 consist of Shimo Nemitz quarterbacking it with Toffoli, Bratt, Nico Hischier, and Timo Meier. Give Timo Power Play 1 time with real line mates, and let's see what he could do. Put him on the right side, let him crash and bang in front of the net, get to those dirty areas, and see what he could do. Would love to see a shake-up like that on the power play. Jack is definitely still injured. Lindy's now confirmed it multiple times. And while I would take an injured Jack Hughes in the lineup over no Jack Hughes and whoever would plug into his place, I don't have that same mentality on the power play, because I think it is showing that, he's nowhere near the top of his game. And so I'd like to see some more different personnel tried out on Power Play 1. And my number one thing would probably be, Nemitz with Bratt, Toffoli, Nico, and Timo. Would love to see that power play combo. But, it's gonna be a long rest of the season. Barring we rip off some crazy heater, it's not looking good for the boys. And we are now, let's just take a look at the official. Is anyone else in action right now? Flyers are losing right now, which is good. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's still we still might have a shot to catch the Flyers. I mean, wow. So they're going to have 59 games played. They'll have one more game than us, and we'll be 5 points behind them. 5 points behind the Flyers with 1 game in hand. And do we play them again? and the second to last game of the season. So, I mean, yeah, wow. You know, depending how it all shakes out, it still might be third in the division could still be possible. Scary stuff. Sad day. I'll be depressed all Monday. Hopefully we could go 3-0 on this road trip and, you know, kind of get a brief resuscitation of some kind. But right now it's not looking good. The odds are extremely stacked against us. And that's it. That's it, guys. Talk to you all in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.